Great. 11-1.
Now, the good news is that the winds aren't as violent as they were yesterday in Chicago, but it's still pretty darn cold. To be expected, I guess, for December football at Soldier Field. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one, as it'll be the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Chicago Bears. 3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. You look at this Bears defense, and they've shown the ability to play tough against the pass, currently ranked number 9 in the NFL.
This secondary has really developed into one of the strengths of this team. They diagnose, they cover, they run, they hit. What a nice team.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. They'll look to throw. And this pass broken up.
God damn, dude, catch the ball!
On 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Bears take over. Looking to put a drive together.
What is that?
On play action, here's Williams. Open man down the field, that's a Dunze. Now inside the 25. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Roma Dunze with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Bears get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
At their own 26-yard line.
Ooh.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That, too.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 47. They'll set up to throw. It's caught. Smith. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So that flag obviously takes away the good yardage that they had on the play.
And talk about a momentum shift, because we can visibly see this celebration shifting from one side of the field to the other as soon as everyone saw the flag.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. He'll look to throw. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down. You look at this Bears defense. Currently #1 in the NFL against the run.
And that play right there shows exactly why they're so good against the run. Held the line of scrimmage, held the point of attack, and stuffed him for no gain.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Haven't met a corner that's worth his salt yet that ever admits to worrying about man coverage. How about the play there, breaking that pass up?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. Over the middle. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
God damn, dude, just fall down. God darn. Really? Just fall down.
Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down. Now, this defense for the Eagles, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Washington.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Here's Williams. To the left side into the hands of Odunze. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice. What is that? Fire, fire!
On first down, it's Powers. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Well, the Bears at 11-1 now on the year. Well, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
To the air, Williams. He's got the Michigan man, Colston Loveland.
And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 29-yard line. A good pickup there, 22.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line.
Throwing is Williams.
Allen has it, left side. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6.
Ready to go!
Now the first carry here for the running back. And he'll get about 5 here, so take this down inside the 20-yard line.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard.
Off the play fake, it's Williams. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
Touchdown! Rome Odunze with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Bears are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line. So this is going to come out to the 35.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That really sets them back. A loss of 6.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. He'll look to throw. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
That one came up just a little bit short. I'm wondering, is it still a little bit tight as this game starts? But what would you say? Maybe he's got to take the governor off of it?
Or maybe the donut off the baseball bat like the guys in the on-deck circle?
I like that. Yeah, just take that little extra weight off of him and start to play freely.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Pulled in at the 24. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And they will take over 1st and 10. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you get a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
Second and 5.
What is on?
Up the middle they go. It's Powers. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
What is up?
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd down and 6 now.
Ready to run.
From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. Whipping one into Allen. That's complete. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. 50 yards. And the Bears take a 3-touchdown lead. So what a start. It's not often you even get 3 possessions in a first quarter, but he now has 3 touchdown passes. Point after try forthcoming. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0.
Makes the score Bears 21, Eagles nothing.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
At their own 32-yard line.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Let's go now.
The man in motion is Brown.
Here's a give to Bigsby.
And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And this offense on 3rd down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away. Take care of it because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
And if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less
I tell you what,
runs like that.
EA loves the Bears now, don't they? God almighty.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Ready, set.
Running right, here's Achane.
And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Ready, set, hold up.
They'll try and run this one right up the gut. He's able to force his way through one man, but he can muster only about a yard on the play. 2nd down.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Back quite a ways here, facing 2nd and 19.
Ready, set.
To throw, it's Williams.
They set up the screen. Achane has it.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7.
Working out of the gun, Williams. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a 1st down.
That's good.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Ready, set.
Now a handoff up the middle. Powers. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They work now on 2nd and 9.
What is up?
Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
My man, my man.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down. He'll try and do this himself.
And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. And his kick is indeed good. And the route is on. It's 24-0. So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them 3. That alone, that's not enough to win a game, but both units able to do their jobs on these last 2 drives.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down. We know, but let me finish.
Okay.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw here. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Fielded at the 20.
So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9.
What is up?
Looking to throw is Williams. That's complete. Luther Burden. Still going inside the 20.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown.
Luther
Bears are able to widen their lead here in this first half. So the numbers are starting to pile up here early on. We have yet to reach halftime, yet that is already now 4 touchdown passes. Extra point forthcoming. And the route is on here in this first half.
Makes the score Bears 31, Eagles nothing.
The Bears send the kicking team out there, and they will send this one away. And he gets it to the 30-yard line, but the football's not going to stay there. There's a penalty marker down. So holding will scratch off some of that return.
And I know fans get frustrated when they see penalties of this sort on kick returns, but it is difficult to do it right against these moving targets at full speed. Hard to do.
Looking to put a drive together. Up the middle they go. Rhodes. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And he's just going to run right into that big old defensive end, and that play going nowhere. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
This one goes out wide for Barkley. So nothing doing there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. The Eagles send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
They run the counter. It's Powers. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
Ready to go!
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Powers. And he is going to lose yardage here. They were ahead of schedule after the gain of 7 on first down, but the defense does not budge on second and third. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Their own 26-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
Second down, 8 to go from the 28. Here's a toss left for Achane. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards into Chicago, first down. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they established that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
Ready, set.
They'll run on first down. Powers able to break through that initial contact and winds up getting about 3 there. It's second down.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. Ball spotted at the 45. Here's second down and 7.
Ready, set.
Here's a give up the middle. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Ready, set. Up.
Now a handoff up the middle. It's Powers. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Second down and 8.
Ready, set.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Powers. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
7.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On third down, Achane. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
What is up?
Achane here. They stay on the ground. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter.
What is up?
Achane on the counter. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
The running game's played a huge part in getting him down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep grinding.
Yeah, even down in the red zone, keep going for it.
No doubt about it. Dance with what brung you.
What is up?
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2. He's still in search of his first rushing touchdown of the year, but not on that play.
I just wonder if he has some frustration starting to build a little bit because he hasn't gotten into the end zone. Has to just stay calm, stay within himself, just let it happen.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
What is up?
He'll try again. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Bears take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Eagles nothing.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go.
Here we go, set.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
The 35-yard line.
We're glad you're with us from Soldier Field in Chicago. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. It's Lamb. And he'll push forward to the 37, gain of 2.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He'll try and do this himself. So a decent gain there on the play, but that all gets wiped out with a penalty.
Well, that's a setback, but all the good play callers, they just move on. They find something else in the playbook. They can attack this defense, and they go right back on the offensive on this play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down.
Let's go now.
Now back to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return.
At their own 33-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. They'll try the left side. Powers. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one, and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Oh, and they set the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay. A tough spot here. 3rd and 15. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Powers. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
Now H.A. on 1st and 10. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 9.
Here we go.
A run straight ahead with Achane. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Come on. Set. 18 Cardinal.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He's got this complete to Burden. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
A gain of 8 brings up 3rd and 12.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. Up the middle, Achane. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the 1st down. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Let's go. Panther 60.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And he'll be dropped at the 36. It's a good gain of 18 on a play that originated back at the 18.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. On 1st down, Rhodes. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
A good solid game there on 1st down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
Now a 2nd and 6. They'll set up a throw. This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough.
Here we go, Shaq. 19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Let's go.
They're going to look to throw. It's caught. Smith. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space.
Set. Liking 18.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I get the thought process. 3rd and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, and there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Winds up losing yardage. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
70 Timber.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Castro. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
So after the 4th down conversion, now 1st and 10 inside the 25. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 6. Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And this is going to be intercepted. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
What is it?
And they'll indeed take a knee.
What is it?
And they take a knee.